Hi everyone, we are covering section 1.5 of KC1 Integrated 2, which is on angle measurements. Okay, so there are two things that you need to know. The first one is that vertical angles are congruent. Remember that we learned about the vertical angle theorem. The vertical angle theorem tells us that vertical angles, or angles that are across from each other, are congruent. Okay, so vertical angles look like this. If you have two lines that intersect, we can say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 because they are directly across from one another. Okay, the next thing is about linear pairs. Okay, so linear pairs are supplementary. Okay, remember that supplementary means that you have angles that add up to 180 degrees. Okay, linear pairs are ones that are next to each other. Okay, so again, if I draw this, I have two lines that intersect, and I can say angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary because they are next to each other. They are a linear pair, which equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so we are going to do a couple examples that will apply vertical angles and linear pairs here to find angle measurements. Okay, so the first example, we need to find the measurement, excuse me, we need to find the measurement of angle AED. Angle AED is this angle right here. So we need to figure out what that measures. Okay, but the only information that they give us is that the angle right under or to the left of that is x plus 94 degrees, and the one across from that is 4x plus 25 degrees. Okay, now you do need to know that the relationship between those two angles are vertical, which means that they are congruent. Okay, so in order for me to find this missing angle, I need to find one of the other angles that has an expression in it, because we can then look at that relationship of the angle that we're looking for and the angle that we solved for. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, knowing that these are vertical angles, is we're going to set them equal to each other. So I have x plus 94 equal to 4x plus 25. Okay, and then we're just going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract x to both sides. I get 94 equal to 3x plus 25. Subtract 25 from both sides. I get 3x is equal to 69. Divide, and x is equal to 23. Okay, so now this is not your final answer, but this is going to help you find the answer. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this x value into one of the equations or the expressions that I have for angles. Now the easiest one that I have is x plus 94. So I want to know what that angle measures to, and all I have to do is plug in 23 wherever I see x. So this is going to be 23 plus 94, which gives me 117 degrees. Okay, so this angle to the left is 117 degrees, which means that the angle directly across from it, since it's a vertical angle, is also 117 degrees. Remember that vertical angles are congruent, so they are going to be equal. All right, now we're still not done, because this gives us this angle and this angle, but I still want to find the top angle. So now you have to look at the relationship between the angles that are highlighted and the angles that we're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to look at the x plus 94, which I know is 117 degrees, and the angle that we're looking for, angle AED. Now those angles are next to each other, so those are linear pairs. Okay, so because of that, knowing that they're linear pairs, the measure of angle AED is just equal to 180 minus 117. Okay, because they are supplementary. That is the linear pair postulate. So 180 minus 117 will give you 63 degrees. So 63 degrees is my final answer here. All right, on to the next example. Now we have to find all of the angle measures here. Now you can see that you have 4 different angle measures. Okay, so in order for you to find all of them, remember the relationship between these. This top angle is congruent to this bottom one that's across from it. And then the one on the left is congruent to the one on the right. So really we're only looking for 2 angle measures, and then we have all 4 of them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is look at the relationship of the expressions that they gave us. Okay, so these 2 angles are right next to each other. Those are a linear pair, which means that they equal to 180 degrees. So I cannot set those equal to each other. Instead, I'm going to write them together and set them equal to 180. Now all I have to do is combine these like terms, right? So 3x and x will give you 4x. 4 and 24 will give you 28, and that's equal to 180. Subtract 28 to both sides. You get 4x is equal to 152. Divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 38. Okay, and again, this is not your final answer, but you are going to use that to find those angles. Okay, so now what I need to do is plug in that x value into one of the angle measures or the angle expressions that I have. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose the easier one. Okay, so the easier one for me is x plus 24. Right, so if x is equal to 38, this is really 38 plus 24, which is equal to 62 degrees. So the measure of angle PTS is equal to 62 degrees, which is also the measure of angle RTQ, which was z degrees. Okay, so here I have 2 angle measures, which is part of my answer. Now I have to find the y degree one, so angle STQ and angle RTP. And by doing that, again, look at the relationship between the highlighted angles. If I already know that PTS is 62 degrees, then the one next to it on the left side has to be 180 minus that because they are supplementary. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So the measure of angle PTR is equal to 180 minus the 62, which is equal to 118 degrees. So the measure of angle PTR is equal to 118, which is also equal to the measure of angle STQ, which is my y degree angle, because they are vertical angles and they are congruent. So these are my answers, and I'm done.